What makes a floating pocket? Well, watch and find out as we create the ideas that Louisa Heinzel and Barbara of 49 Dragonflies came up with. Hi everyone, Patty here. I did not record the making of the floating pockets because I followed what Louisa did and I watched Barbara's and I wanted to make both of them. So I'm sure you have already watched their videos and have came up with something like what I did. The main thing is that I purchased from Louisa's shop weathered numerical patina ephemera pack using her numbers 30 discount, and then I rewatched her video on jazzing up this digital. The video was glossy rust. Love this idea. So that is where I start my video, from making the glossy rust numbers to use as my bold numbers. I used up all of my glaze in antique linen and was going to try using clear embossing powder, but got behind on putting my videos together because I was too busy crafting. But that's what this year is all about, compartmentalizing, and so we make up items we can use for other projects. Yes, I do think it becomes mask making, but at the same time, I have several pockets that I can add bold numbers to or completely different themes for another project. I think that is where the difference is between compartmentalizing and mask making. I added 3 layers of the antique linen glaze to the digitals that I had printed out onto cardstock. I don't have an embossing dabber, but I do have a small embossing pad and use that to add some embossing ink to several places on each number. Keep doing this till you get the raised look on each numerical patinaed number. I also don't have rust-colored alcohol ink, but I do have caramel and latte, so I go with that. Use what you have, so what I come up with won't be identical to what Louisa did, but I really like the effect with what I had. My alcohol ink leaked all over my table. It soaked into the brown packaging paper below, so that's good. But now I don't have very much of this product either. A little goes a long way, and you only need a few drops. I used a sponge dauber to get that little puddle look Louisa talked about. Just dab drops with the dabber and move the drops around a bit on each number tile, trying to get the alcohol ink only on the areas that the embossing glaze is, or it soaks all the way through the cardstock. I have 4 pages done with this technique, and I want to add some splatters to these pages. The pages roll with all of the embossing glaze, alcohol inks, and heating, so I tried to get them to lie flat before I add the acrylic paint splatters. I used a parchment color and a yellow oxide color mixture with a little water. I put a drop or 2 of each paint color onto a paper plate and add water to thin. Find my fan brush for splattering and add this to the pages. My first page, the acrylic paint, was too thick. It needs more water to make smaller splatters. Big globs, not little delicate splatters. Tried to wipe it off with the baby wipe, but a couple of the numerical tiles are covered with my splatter. So I added more water and thinned the paint down more. Now my splatters are working, so I added splatters to the pages that I had the glaze on. I also didn't want to waste my paint, so I splattered a couple more pages that I hadn't done the glossy rust technique onto. Everything got splattered, including me. Now you want to heat the acrylic paint and get it to bubble, and that gives you another texture on your numerical tiles. Adding a few more splatters where I didn't get enough. Keep heating till they bubble. Then I watched day 4 journaling cards and tried the tape method onto my numbers. That's going to take some practice to get that technique down. But how fun was that? I only had the wide tape or the 1-inch tape, and my wide tape is glossy, so I didn't try using it. But it's what I have, so why not give it a go? I tried to put a piece of paper down where I could make a stop with a rip, but I still ripped into the other pieces. I will keep working on this technique. I've got the pockets made following Barbara's video. This one has paper clips hidden in between the pages, plus it has a pocket where I wrap the embossed paper around the pocket. Then the 2 see-through pockets, like Barbara at 49 Dragonflies made with book pages. Let's add some bold numbers to these pieces. I picked a couple of the numerical patina numbers and add some tiny brads to the larger numeric tile. The brad prongs are sticking out, so I need to cut off the prong on one side so you don't see it. I used my cutters and cut just the portion off that you can see, still leaving a piece of the prong to stay on. One of the prongs broke and kept falling out. I will be gluing this piece down, so I tried to keep it in place till I got it all glued. A bit of a troublesome area. Should have used just another brad. I just don't have very many of these small brads in the same color, and I want all 4 brads on the numeric tile to be the same color. Layered the tile with some coffee-dyed cheesecloth. What are your thoughts on compartmentalizing this year? I really like it, and I'm getting a lot accomplished for my journals. The only problem is going to be storage of all of these pieces I'm making. I don't have the storage area where I'm at until we find a new house. Things are piling up in my 200 square feet, and the walls are starting to cave in during these cold gray days. That's why I'm loving Dephemerember, as it keeps me busy with creating instead of trying to figure out where we're going to move to. I keep adding layers to the see-through pockets and adding brads plus the numerical tiles that I tried the tape method onto. I did ink around the edges of the tape, pulled numerical tiles, because the paper is white and the book pages are a cream colored, so I need to knock down the stark white. Use my corner rounder on the large side of the corner rounder to corner the edges of the numerical tiles. Love these bold numbers and the glossy rust effect. I think I'll add a little essential oil in lavender to my terracotta pendant that Barbara from Florida sent me. Lavender is great for relaxation and has calming properties. That will be good for today. I hang it off a circle light I have attached to my camera. I don't want it to be distracting hanging in my video, but it's nice to have the scent while I craft. I also have the large numbers on this page of the two guys. Who knows who these people are? I'm thinking singers, but who? And what did they sing? But these are bold numbers. I also have the bold numbers Barbara from Florida sent me. The 25 will be ripped out and layered onto a piece of the black embossed paper. I debated on filling in the number 25 with a black felt tip pen, but decided against it and left it as an outline. It's large and may have overpowered the pocket if it was filled in. I also have a few pieces of colored cardstock that I painted with black gesso. Then I ran these pieces through my embossing machine when they were dried and ironed flat. They did curl up a bit with painting the cardstock, but flattened out nicely after running through the embossing machine. There was no problem of them being curled. Again, this part is not on camera as my embossing machine is in my storage unit and there's no way to film the process. This is another project where I painted 3 or 4 different colors of cardstock, let this dry before taking them to the embossing machine. Mass making, but I was compartmentalizing them with numbers and letters, thinking ahead for the prompts. Take a sanding block and scuff up the embossed areas and remove the paint. This shows the colored cardstock under the black paint. Also shakes the table while filming, but the look adds color and some texture with the roughed up areas from the sanding block. Depending on what color of cardstock you use, that is what will show through when sanding. I ripped the large bold number 25 off the blue paint swatch, which matched the blue colored cardstock showing through my painted embossed paper, inked the edges, and layered this onto my acetate die-cut pockets. I've been saving those die-cut scraps, and what a great way to put them to use. I sandwiched my pieces between 2 pieces of acetate and sewed them down the center and across the page to make 6 different pockets from an 8.5 by 11-inch piece of acetate. Cut the acetate pieces, and now we have pockets that have an area that you can see through to your journal page. I may add something onto the pocket like Louisa did to make a shaker or something more floating in the piece, but haven't came up with that yet. My glitter that Barbara from Florida sent me I want to use for moon dust for another prompt, and my glitter is packed away in my storage unit, so this is what I have for the materials I have on hand. I want this to be a pocket also, so I need to layer these pieces so I can still tuck something in behind the bold number. Yes, the number is large and bold, maybe even overpowers the pocket. What to do? I glued it down, and maybe I will add something over the top of the bold number to tone it down. I start to add more numbers to the other pockets, but didn't finish these pieces completely, so I can go back and finalize them for the next project I work on. That's what I came up with for day 2. I show how I will use my pockets with the finished pieces in my journal. Have a great day, and I can't wait to show you what I made for day 3 and 4. Bye now.